Hey everybody, I'm back, and I'm going to bring you a live commentary battle on Rome Total War. This is being fought on the Gallic countryside, and I'm playing as the Seleucids. You can see my army if you look down in the at the unit cards on the bottom of my screen. And you'll be able to see not only the army, but the upgrades I brought as well, in case you're interested in that. Right now I'm just positioning my army, of course. And I'm going to put my cataphracts here. Actually, I'll put one on either flank. And then I'll put my companions in the center. And I don't want my archers to skirmish right now. Alright, let's get the battle started. See what my opponent's brought. My opponent is King of Stone. And I'm not really exactly sure what kind of army he's brought. He has a few more troops than I do, and it looks like the power meter is saying that it's in favor of him. But, you know, you can't always believe that. It's not always true. There's a little bit of rain. That's going to have an effect on our archers, but since we're both using archers and there's no slingers, shouldn't be any big deal because we'll both be affected by the same. One of the things I like about this map is this little forest here. You can use it for ambushes. You got this rock that you can use to protect your flank. But there is a hill back here that your opponent starts with, which is kind of sometimes annoying, other times it's not such a big deal. So even though I'm playing as the Seleucids, I decided to fight this Roman style. I've got a lot of archers though, and that's just in case my opponent's brought urbans. I've brought a lot of archers to kind of help balance the power, but of course the Romans have access to good archers too, so I shouldn't assume that I'll be the only one with a good number of archers. My cataphracts are pretty well upgraded, but Praetorian Cav is a possible opponent, and if there's Praetorian cavalry on the battlefield, then that could be a tough match still. Then my companions are pretty well upgraded as well, and companions, as you know, have a devastating charge. Very good for hammer and anvil strikes. There they are. Don't really know what's taken so long, so I'm gonna go... Oh, there we go. It looks like my opponent has split his army into two for whatever reason, so let's go see what he has. I have my troops moving forward, just so my opponent has to keep busy. My only rule was no artillery, and apparently my opponent didn't understand that. He's got out here two units of early legionary first, and it looks like a unit of Praetorian, 2 units of Praetorian Cav, and 2 Scorpions. And then on this wing, he is going to have, looks like a couple of more units of Praetorian Cavalry, so that's 4 altogether. He has 1 unit of archers, and 2 legionary first cohorts. I've never seen someone bring an army quite like this before. I guess I can understand the split wing tactic, but in this case it's actually going to be bad for him, because what I'm going to do is simply isolate each wing of his army individually and defeat it. And his artillery, I think these Scorpions may be firing, but they're so far away that I'm going to nullify them by basically moving away from the fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rush this army over here and just absolutely spray them with archer fire. So I've got all my troops running except for my cavalry, because I don't want them to get too far ahead. So like I said, one of the best ways to beat artillery, unless it's placed way up on a hill, is to just rush it, and this artillery isn't necessarily way up on a hill. And Scorpions are only going to have a limited effect. They're pretty good. Scorpions are actually very good on Rome Total Realism, but they're also very expensive. So here we are. I'm now in position, and his artillery is about to reap its reward. So I'm going to target all my archers, excuse me, on that unit of Scorpions, and of course they have routed. Now all of my archers are going to focus on this next unit of Scorpions. Let's see if I can get them routed as well. And there they go. Or nope, never mind, that was the other unit still. Alright, my opponent's now bringing up his Praetorian cavalry behind me, so I'm going to turn to match them. And looks like he's running up some infantry, so I'll turn to meet that advance as well. Alright, my opponent is just making a head-on charge into my silver shields. I'm not trying to be mean, but at this point I'm going to guess that my opponent's not experienced. And like I said, I'm not trying to be mean, but whenever you bring an army that's heavy on numbers, extremely low on upgrades, and you bring things like a bunch of scorpions or anything else, it just kind of typically indicates that you're not real experienced with online play. I don't think it means anything about how good they are in one player, but it definitely tends to show that they're not as experienced with online play. Like right here, even though all my troops are in a blob, I'm just going to hammer and anvil these first cohorts, and they're going to immediately rout because of the massed archer fire and everything else. So yeah, that split wing tactic is not very good when your units are so far spread apart that they can't support each other. That's not a good idea. And if you're a new player to Rome Total War, then this is a good video for you to watch, because it illustrates some of the problems that newer players run into, which is just some typical mistakes like not getting proper upgrades and stuff like that. So here I have my cataphracts holding the line. They can do that because they're excellent melee cavalry. My companions will probably be getting pretty beat up. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hammer and anvil with my Silver Shield Legionnaires. So generally it's the other way around. You have your infantry be the anvil and the cavalry is the hammer. But in this case, I did a little bit opposite. As you can see, it worked pretty well. And I'm going to bring my cataphracts up to the next group of Legionnaires. And see, like I said, if you're a new player, please take notice of this. Notice that my opponent's army just can't stand with mine. And that's because, just because of the few upgrades I have, it makes my men hugely superior to his, because they have a hard time holding their ground. So see, even here he's got a Legionary First Cohort, which is an excellent unit, but my cataphracts will just rip him up. And of course my opponent's left the game now, probably sensing that the end was near. So I've got my companions out here mopping up his artillery and archer, the unit of archers he brought.
The enemy general is running away.
So this fight's pretty much over, and the reason I'm posting this is because I want any new players who watch the game to learn what took me a long time to learn. I used to bring armies that, you know, just weren't as good like this online, and it's just because I didn't really know any better. And so learn the lesson here. Stuff like artillery isn't really that effective in Rome Total War, and upgrades most of the time are better than numbers. It depends on what kind of units you're bringing. If you're bringing extremely high quality units like urban cohorts or something, then upgrades may not matter as much, but upgrades are very important on Rome Total War. But let me also finish that by saying that upgrades aren't near as important in Empire Total War. So if you're a new player to Empire Total War, don't focus so much on upgrades there, because a lot of times numbers can win an Empire. Although quality of units can definitely play into it. So yeah, like I said, it definitely looks like my opponent here was new, and that's okay. All of us have to be new. And I know that sometimes we all like to play really challenging games online, and we don't always get the kind of games we want, but it's good to play everybody, I think, so that everybody gets a chance to have fun and enjoy the game. Alright, looks like this battle is over. So that was a heroic victory for me. My opponent, King of Stone, well played to him. Hopefully he continues to play online. And my name in this battle was Darcy Weibach, which was it's the name of a scientist who came up with some equations that I use a lot in my fluid flow classes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that battle, and I'll bring you some more Rome Total War action soon.